Welcome to the section on how to build an Android app using Java. In this section, we will talk about the basic knowledge that one requires to enter into the field of Android app development. And we'll also talk about some online courses which would help you become an Android app developer. And also, finally, we will have a hands-on section in which we will be building a real Android app, but a simple one, and also deploying it. So let's move. So these are some prerequisite knowledge that one requires to develop an Android app. So first of all, we need a programming language that should be either Java or Kotlin. Kotlin has been declared as the official language by Google. Even though I would suggest you to learn Java first if you haven't learned Java. You should learn Java and start your Android app development career because knowing Java makes it easier for you to learn Kotlin. Next is XML. It is a extensible markup language. Well, in field of Android app development, we use XMLs to design our layouts. We will talk about layouts later. And third thing is Android. The one should have a knowledge about Androids, how Android performs, what all things Android does. Have you ever wondered how your Android smartphone does things like which page to open when we click on an Android app, or the background task that happens in an Android devices? So we should have a little bit basic knowledge before entering into Android app development. So let's move on. I will show you some courses, online courses, which helped me to enter this field. This is a course on Coursera. It is a specialization. It contains 4 courses and 1 project. So completing this would help you learn some knowledge on Android app development. The first course of this specialization deals with learning of Java. So actually, if you haven't learned Java, I wouldn't prefer this course for you at the first. And next is Udemy course. Okay, this one is the best course I could find because this had more hands-on section, and it also starts with teaching you Java programming. So as you can see there, the complete Android and Java developer course build 21 apps. So you would be building 21 apps by the end of this course. For those people who haven't learned Java programming, I would always suggest you this course on so I'm offered by NPTEL. So this is a programming Java course. It is a AICTE approved FTP course. So you will get points for the certificate. So this is the best course one could take to learn Java, as it has more hands-on sections on Java's, more programmings, good lectures, assignments. It keeps you going. It details everything about Java, not like the other 2 courses, because since those courses contains a lot of other contents on Android app development, they wouldn't focus more on Java programming. So those who like to know more about Java programming, I would suggest this course. So let's move on to build an Android app. We need a platform. That is, we need a software or tool, and that is Android Studio. So we'll be seeing Android Studio and we'll be working on Android Studio further. So I'll show you how we can build how we can so I'll be showing you how we can download Android Studio somewhere. Okay. Okay. So this is the site developers.android.com/studio. From here you can download the Android Studio. The default download button is for downloading Windows version, but if you have a Mac or a Linux or Chrome OS, you can choose the download options button and you can choose the one that you need. And so after setting up Android Studio, I'll show you how it launches. Okay, let's start our Android Studio. So this is the welcome screen of Android Studio. It contains start a new Android project, open an existing Android Studio project, check out project from version controls and so on. So since you are going to do a new project, you click on start a new Android project. So in this window, it lets us to choose for which devices we are going to build this Android app. So for now, we are going to build it for phone or tablet. And in this section, we have option to choose what kind of activity we need. Well, all those act all well all these activities contain some pre-written code. So I'm going to choose empty activity, which is the activity with the most less code written. All other activities will have some special codes for, like here it will have some pre-written codes for this floating action button, here for this button navigation activity. So that pre-written code shouldn't be so good to see when we start up. Okay, empty activity, click on next. So here we can type name of the application we are going to build. I'm gonna write it as add. You can see that the package name is already added as add. This is a location where this project is going to be saved, and in this option you can choose which language you are going to code. So I'm going to choose Java. You can choose Kotlin also if you know Kotlin. It's your choice. Then minimum SDK. This is the option for which we can choose the minimum Android version for which our app is going to support. So I'm gonna let it choose Android Marshmallow. So if we choose Marshmallow, then our app won't support in Lollipop, KitKat, Jelly Bean, and those versions which is below Marshmallow. So I'm gonna choose default, that is Marshmallow. And you can see here that your app will run on approximately 84.9% of devices. That means that the rest percentage is below Marshmallow. So okay, then click on finish. So our project is being built. It would take some time. Okay. So this is how Android Studio looks like. Well, you will have tips on startup. So if you wish to see these tips every time you open Android Studio, you can click on show tips and just close it here. So we have main activity.java file and then activity main.xml file here. The main activity.java file is the file in which we write Java codes that tends to function our program or app. Well, in uh, activity main activity main.xml is the a Java file in which the Java codes are written, which functions our app, and in activity main.xml file contains the layout of our app. It is loading. You can see that Gradle Build model it is running. Needs to finish for the project to be completely set up. Okay, Gradle Build is finished, and let's see activity main.xml. So it's loading. So I have told you in the beginning that XML codes are the reason for the layout in the Android Studio. So we have three kind of views here. One is design only, then it is split view which contains design and the XML code. So this is the design. This is the design. By default, it contains a text view. and it is written hello world in the text view. You can see that there is a constraint layout here. Android Studio contains 5 kinds of layout, which are constraint layout, linear layout, coordinator layout, relative layout, and frame layout. Well, let's do it with constraint layout because it is the best layout, as it can adjust with the different screen ratios of different Android devices. You can see that in constraint layout we constrain the every components to sides of the app or the sides of any other objects. So we can change the view and use the layout decorations. So this is how your app would currently look. So let's run our app and see what it looks like currently. For that we need to set up an Android virtual device or emulator. Click this AVD manager here. I have already set up an emulator which is Pixel 2 API device. If you have it set up here, your screen would look like this. So here you get to choose which phone you need and click on next, and here there will be all the list of the system images and you need to download and set up. So I'm going to run the emulator which I have set up. Launch the AVD in the emulator. Play button. So you can see that starting AVD. It's been starting in the background. So this is our Android emulator. We need to power this thing up. It's just like a normal Android device. It contains apps. We can run our test our project in this Android emulator. I can see that how it works. You can also connect a normal Android device to a laptop and check it through that. It's just that the normal device should be in debugging mode, in which you can enable in developer options. So it's been booting up. So let it run in the background. So we will talk about this main activity.java file. If you know Java, you'll be familiar with this statements package and import. So this current program has been included in the package com.example.add, and you can see 2 import statements here. These are some default import statement that is necessary for an Android project to run. It is Android x.appcompact.app.appcompact activity and android.os.bundle. If you have written Java codes before, you would know that import statements are in every Java code. Import java.lang.util.star like that. So here we have 2 default imports. Later on, Android Studio will add the imports for you for every functionality you use. So then is the main class, which is named as main activity, which you can see that it extends app compact activity. So app compact activity is the super class and main activity is the derived class. And you can see that an onCreate function is written here, and you can see that there is an override term highlighted, which means that this onCreate function is a function which already existed in the superclass, that is app compact activity, and we are again used it in main activity. So it is called as overridden function, and its parameter is bundle saved instance. Well, it is a parameter in Android which stores or which gets the current state of our app, current or previous state of our app, how our app ran previously. So inside that we call super.onCreate, the super onCreate method of the superclass. Then this statement sets what we should view in our activity, or what our app should look like, the contents of our app. So it's called as set content view of r.layout.activity main. So it is written r.layout.activity main, which means that we set the activity main.xml file as our layout for this activity. It is written r.layout because this activity main.xml file, R for resource, okay, lies in resources layout activity main.xml. It's just the directory annotation. So in activity main.xml, layout is hello world. Okay. Constraint current layout is constraint layout and contains a text view hello world. So we can come back. So it's that much. We can see how it looks on our emulator. So we can see how our app looks currently on the emulator. So this emulator has been loading. Well, now we can see how our app currently looks on the emulator. Well, our emulator has loaded successfully. It is like a normal Android device. So we are going to run it using this play button here. It has already chosen Pixel 2 API 28 here. So let's run it. You can see that Gradle Build running. Gradle is a build system which compiles the code. It would take some time for the first time. Meanwhile, we can get to. Meanwhile, you will get to know about Android Studio. You have this project tab here, which contains all details of a project, which is located in the directory which they mentioned when we build the project. So our main activity.java files lies in app java com.xml.add folder inside that main activity.java. So this is this one, and the layout file lies in resources layout activity main.xml. These are all other scripts, that is default scripts how an Android should look like. So I think our Gradle build has finished here. Yes, and it's been installing. So let's wait. Yes, install successfully finished. Let's look as the app is starting up. Yes. So this is the current view of our app. This is the current. It is same as that of the layout which is here. So you can see that the hello world text is written here. So we're going to change it. Well, let's do a program to add two numbers. And for that, you know that we need objects like to add two numbers. You need one field to enter the first number, another field to enter the second number, a button to trigger the adding activity, and a space for which to display the sum of the two numbers. So we will delete this hello world here. We don't need that. Click on that and press delete button. So in this text field, you can see that text view, plain text, password, etc. etc. Well, text view, you just saw the hello world. We need plain text. These things with underline are the fields. We drag this plain text and we place it here. You can see that the edit text field has been added. It is called as edit text field. Well, we will make it little small. We don't need such a big field here. Okay, and it's currently written name here. We will delete it. Okay, now we need the same edit text one more. Well, since we have added edit text here, it has made some changes in our XML code also. You can see that the edit text which we have added, the Android Studio coded its XML code automatically. So this is the code which is responsible for the edit text here. So we need the same edit text one more to enter a second number. So we just copy the word paste. So we're going to paste it again. So you can see that another edit text also appeared. So I'm gonna drag the edit text on top of and place it here. So, but since we have copied it, they both have the same ID. In Android Studio, every object in the layout file should have an unique ID which is to be used in the main activity.java file. So I give the first edit text as num1 and second as num2. You can name it anything, but it should be unique. Okay, now it shows an error here. Let's go back to design view. The view is not constrained. Okay, since this is a constraint layout, we should constrain every view. Well, we will do it later after adding all the components. So since this is a edit text field, we should tell the user what to write in that field, right? So for that, we use this attribute section hint here. We write here first num. You can see that first num has appeared here. We will do it the same, but we will type the second num. So it would look like hint only when you start writing, then hint would disappear. Second, second. Yeah. Okay. So it looks too small. Yeah. Okay, let's do one thing. We'll do like this. Num2 and num1. We don't need a big text field here. We will write small. So num1. Okay. So we have two edit text fields here, num1 and num2. Now we need a button and a space to display the answer. So we drag the button here and place it in the center. You can see that there is a dotted line coming, shows the center. You can place it here. Okay, and you would change the text of the button to add. Okay, you can see that the text of the button has changed to add. Now we need a view, a text view to display the answer. You would drag this text view here and place it at the center. We would name it as answer. Okay, you see that the answer text is been displayed here. We would change its color. Now it's currently a kind of gray type, ash type. Change the color to a true black. So now it's true black. And you can see that the color has changed to true black. Now we would increase its size since we need the answer to occupy a large size. This is 14 SP. SP stands for scale independent pixel. We would write 72 SP, press enter. You can see that the answer has become a little big. Place it at the center. So now we have added all the components required, and now we need to constrain it out. So we constrain num1 to the top, num2 to the top. You can do it in any order, not a problem. Constrain horizontally. We'll constrain this to here. Constrain this to here. Since we don't want num1 or num2 to appear on top of each other, so we constrain it to each other, so it would never come on top of one another. We will then constrain it to add, so that we don't want add to come on top of the edit text. We always want it at the bottom, right? So you can see that some values have been changing, 48 and all. So we should center it. Don't do it at the. I will do it at the end. Then we need to constrain this add button here to answer, and this to this, this to this. We constrain both horizontally, then it will be aligned at the center only. And let's move it a little bit. Okay. Then we should constrain this answer also. See? We constrain to the parent bottom. This layout's edges are known as parent. Layout is known as parent. You can see that constraint to bottom of parent. So the answer is constrained from bottom of the answer to bottom of the file. This is top of the file. So answer is been here. So, okay, now we need to align this num1 and num2. For that, you click on num1 and you can see that it is at a distance of 48 from the edge. So we will do align it, place it at we will bottom the add button little. Okay, now we again click on num1 and we would bring it a little bit down, say 70. The whole horizontal vertical axis starts from 0 to 100, which is in percentage. So 70. Well, now the percentage is from this to the top of the button add, and we will do it to the num2 also. It should be at a distance of let's say we put it to 0. It is not considered, considered to add button, and we will lower it down to 70. We know that num2 was also 70, so it is aligned now vertically. Let's align it at the center. For that we would use this, we'll align it, okay, at 100. Since this was at 48 from here, we will put this as also 48. You can see that just aligned. So this is 48 from here, 48 from here. Okay, the add button is currently placed at the center, and so also applies all components are constrained. So let's go to main activity.java. Now in main activity.java we will write all the codes that is necessary for our app to run or the components to work. So we write all the codes in the onCreate function because this function is being called each time when we open the app. So for that we can come into layout file, and there are two edit texts. I will show you the XML code. I will just minimize this project bar. Okay, we have two edit text, which is the num field, and we have a button and a text view. So those are the classes, predefined classes. So we declare the class objects here, edit text and num1 comma num2. Then we have button add. Okay, we have a text view, which is the answer. Text view answer. Just like declaring variables. So now we need to initialize these class objects. For that we need IDs. We have only set ID of num1 and num2 at layout. Now we need to set ID to add and answer objects. So let's go to the layout file and click on the add button. The current IDs button we will change it to button hyphen add. Okay, it's not problem you will, it's not a problem if you didn't change that also, but I'm just changing it for understanding. Answer text view. Okay, now we come back to activity. Now we have to initialize each object. For that we use the code num1 is equal to, there's a code in the Android version, this find view by ID. Is the code to assign a view to the class object or the edit text object here. Find view by ID. Now num1, what is the ID of num1 here? We have put the ID of num1 as num1 itself. It's not necessary that the ID and the class object name should be same. You can name it anything. So we write it as r.id.num1. You can see that num1 appears here, num1 and semicolon. Now we will do the same for num2 also. Num2 is equal to find view by ID. r dot id dot. So the id of the field num2 was num2 itself. So we type num2, sorry, num2 semicolon. Now we have initialized or assigned view to both of our edit text. Now we will assign the view to our button. So the object of the button was add. So we type add is equal to same find view by id r dot id dot the id of our button was button add. So we type button add, and then next we will assign id to our text view answer equal to find view by id of r dot id dot answer text view, which was the id of our answer text view. So now we have assigned view to every object. Now we want to assign an on-click listener. An on-click listener means it calls each time, or it executes each time when we press a button. So here our on-click listener is to be assigned to for this button. So button add dot set on-click listener. So to set an on-click listener to the button, and in the parameter new on view dot on click listener, and it will automatically write some code for us. Okay, so this on click function will get executed when a user presses the add button. So what should be happening in the background when the user presses an add button? When the user presses this add button, our program should retrieve both of the numbers entered by the user in the field num1 and num2, and also assign it to two variables, and should find the sum, and should assign the sum to another variable, and that sum or final answer is to be displayed in this answer section. So for that we need to declare three variables, int x, y, and answer. Let it be ans. Okay, so the value entered by the user in the edit text field num1 should be stored in the variable x, and value entered by the user in the field num2 should be stored in the variable y, and their sum to be stored in variable answer. So by default in Java class, everything is considered as a string value. So even if the user enters a number in this field, it is considered as a string value. So we need to convert that string value into an integer value first. So that is x equal to integer.parse. That is the function used to convert string value into integer value in Java. So integer.parsing of, inside that we type in our string value, that is string dot value of, okay, variable, which is a variable. Okay, the object num1 retrieves our value num1 dot get text. That's okay, that's fine. So this num1 dot get text retrieves the value in the string format, and this whole thing is considered in string format, and then it gets converted into integer format and then stored in the variable x. So we will do the same for y also. Y is equal to integer dot parse string dot value of num2 dot get text. Okay, semicolon. Now we have retrieved the value from num fields num1 and num2 to x and y. Now we need to store the sum. So this is to sum for better understanding. Sum is equal to x plus y. Okay. So now we have retrieved both the values and we have found the sum. Now we need to write the code to display this sum in this field. This answer text will be replaced by our answer. So for that, the object of our text view was answer. So to manipulate that text view, we need to access our object answer dot set text. You see the set text function, set text. Inside that, what we write inside that will be displayed in this answer text view. This answer text will be replaced by the content in this parenthesis. So inside that we need to display this value of sum. So since it is in text view, it is to be displayed in a string format. So here sum is in integer format. So we need to convert the integer format again into string, that is string dot value of sum. Okay, so the main code of the program is over. Now we will run this app on the emulator and see how it works. For that we will press this button. You can see that it's installing and launching activity. Okay, you can go into that. Okay, it's ready. We will type in the numbers 34 and 46 and press add. You can see that this keyboard option is not going down its own. We will code it later. So the sum of 34 and 46 is being displayed as 80 here. But this program isn't currently so much user friendly, because for the user to add to other numbers, he would need to click on both the fields and need to backspace it. And still also the answer 80 appears there. So that wouldn't be so much good. So we will assign a new function to our program, that is a reset button. But we are not going to call another button. We will do the reset function in the same add button only. So let's do that here. For that, we are going to code an invert condition, and for that we need to declare a boolean value. Boolean is either true or false. So flag is equal to true. Okay, now if flag is equal to true, so each time the app opens, the flag will be true for the first time. So we need these codes to be executed when flag is equal to true for the first time. That means the indentation of the user's indentation is to add the numbers, right, for the first time. So we execute this code and flag is equal to true, and we type in another code else. So when flag is equal to false, and before that we would assign flag as false at the end of this function or this if condition. Flag is equal to false. Okay, so after executing the first if condition, the flag will be assigned to false. So when the user again presses on the add button again, it will be reset. It will not call this if condition, but it will call the else condition. So in the else part, we will type in codes to uh, reset those fields, like num. These bold fields will be resetted, and this answer will be brought back to this answer text view. That is, it should look like new. So for that, in else we would type num1 dot set text as null and num2 dot set text as null. So this code will remove all the contents entered by the user in both num1 and num2 set text fields, and we will also need to change the answer text view into answer back again, answer text view answer. Okay, Here type in code to change the characteristics, and we will again assign flag is equal to true, so that the next time when the user presses that button, this code will be executed. So, and make it more interactive, we would add a condition that not a condition, a code that will change the text of a button from add to reset. And for that, the code is add dot set text. We'll type in reset. It should be in the inverted commas since it should be treated as a string. So add dot set text. So that's all. So in here also we need to again reset our text from reset to add, back to add. Okay. So code is almost over. Now we will again run it. We can see the Gradle Build is running. Installation that it has been launched. Okay. Okay, now let's try this time. 24 and 45. So you can see that we need to press the stick button for our keyboard to close. We will code it after this. Okay, 24 for 45, the sum value answer is been displayed as 69 here. Now let's check. You have noticed that this add button's text has been changed from add to reset, right? So now let's check that our reset button works or not. Reset, yes. Both of the num fields has been resetted, set as null, and answer comes back to answer. So we will type in the next code. Next numbers 45 and 83. I will type in the add. You can see that sum 130 is been displayed. We need to write some code that when the user presses the add button, the keyboard automatically goes down. The keyboard is staying up since the text field is being enabled. So we need to get this text field or text field out of this enabled condition. So let's minimize the emulator. We will add a code here as num1 dot set text set enabled false, and we will do that for num2 also. Dot set enabled as false, and again in the reset part we need to enable it. Num1 dot set enabled true, num2 dot set enabled true. Okay, let's see how it works. It's launching the emulator. Okay, now app is being getting launched. Okay, the app has launched. We type in the numbers here. Now we press on the add button, the keyboard should go down by itself and it should display our answer. So let's see if it works. You can see that our keyboard went down automatically because we set this both text field as disabled or false. So there is no entry option available for both the text fields, and thus the keyboard went down by itself. You can see that the both edit text was set this enabled false, so the user cannot edit text or enter any values into it. See, it's like they activity has restarted. Let's think that we don't need this answer text view to be displayed here, and at the place of answer we need an empty place but the sum value to be displayed there. We can do it by click on the answer text view, and then we will delete the answer text from the text part, press the enter. So the answer text values. So the answer text view is currently there, but the text answer is not there. So let's run our app again and see if it works. Gradle Build is running. It takes more time when we make changes to the XML file than the activity.java file. So app opens up. Okay, you can see that there is no answer text there, right? But the real answer will be displayed there. So let's type 45 and 55. The answer is to be 100. Okay, you can see that the answer 100 is being displayed here. Reset. Okay, sorry, that's because we set this answer.setText as answer here. We need to remove that code there from there. So instead of setting it back to answer, we should set it back to null, or else that text or the answer, that is the sum which was 100, will remain there. So we need to set the set text as null. So it will be set, the text will be set as empty. We will run it again. Gradle Build running, installing, launching activity. So let's check our emulator. Okay, app opens up with the number 45 and here 55. Okay, then plus add, that's 100. When you press on reset, yes, that 100 disappears and it comes back to normal again. You have noticed some slow in this working. That's because it is in the emulator. It won't be slow when we use it on the phone. Usually Android Studio needs more processor and RAM. The system requirements is much high. Currently I'm having an i3 8 gen processor and an 8 GB RAM. So I would at least recommend you an 8 GB RAM, because it won't work so smooth in 4 GB RAM. Even the Android Studio won't work smooth in 4 GB of RAM. You will not be able to run this emulator. For that you need around 8 GB, because the emulator itself takes around 2.5 GB of RAM. So we have coded our app. Now I will talk to you about the contents of some files, some important files just to be known. That is, in this manifest section, you see that Android manifest.xml file. This Android manifest.xml file is very important part of our app, because it defines the structure and the metadata of our application. Its components and requirements. You can see that the activity part is being displayed here. We need to declare the every activity in the program in the manifest file for the activity to be run smoothly. And you can see that theme part is set as app theme. You can change the theme here. You can set it to a dark theme or something. And you can see that this command tells that this main activity.java is been set as the main activity of a program. And this category, that is Android name, is equal to Android intent.category.launcher. This tells the program that this activity, that is the main activity.java, is to be launched when the user presses the app's icon. That is called the category.launcher. So now we have learned about Android manifest.xml file. Now we will try some interesting feature, that is building up the APK file. For this program to be shared through Extender or WhatsApp or something, we need an APK file. For building that APK file, we will go into this build option. We will click on build APK and build APK. You can see that Gradle Build is running. And you can see that APK is generated successfully for one module. Module app locator analyze APK. We can locate it and see that where it is stored currently. You can see that this is our APK of our app. We can copy into a mobile or send it through any media. It will work on any Android devices. So that's the main thing. We can rename it also. So almost the content we have covered. Now I will show you some interesting shortcuts in this Android Studio. Now you can see that the code is in well oriented. In the beginning I must have told you about this this code here. Refract this code cleanup option and the reformat code option. So we will try this Control Alt plus L shortcut here. You can see the shortcut for everything on the right side of that function. We will type in Control Alt L. You can see that what is going to happen. Control Alt L. You can see that the some alignments changes has been made to a program and it has been now set as new, or it is all the codes are oriented well. Now it's easy to read. Now that's a professional look, and I will tell you about this yellow mark here. You can see this yellow or orange box here, right? This shows that there is some warning. Yes, 3 warnings found. So these 3 warnings are this, this, and this. Well, if there is an error, it should be highlighted in a red bar. You can see that this is error. In most of the cases, the reason of the error will be displayed like this, missing semicolon. So now we will clear this warning. Flag equal to true can be simplified to flag, because that is the change in the API. As the API increases, the code also must have some change. We must improve our coding. So since the flag is always true, we don't need this condition, and since it is boolean, we don't need to check it with the true. If flag will only be executed if flag condition, this condition will only be executed if flag is true. So you can see that when we corrected it, that yellow mark disappeared. And now let's go to this string literal in set text cannot be translated. That is because it has to be the Android Studio has said that this every string in our program must be predefined in the string.xml file. I will show you that. In resources values there is strings.xml file. So every string values in a program must be there in string. It is not an mandatory kind of change. You have seen that our program worked even without that. The warnings will not make our program not to work, but the errors sure will. It will fail the Gradle build also. But also we will just clear all this warning. String literal in set text cannot be translated. So for that we will go to string, type in a new string, name is equal to, we will type it as reset and close it. Okay, I will type it the real value of the string, that is reset. Okay, now let's use this string name in our activity. That is r dot string dot reset. Now you can see that warning also disappeared. Now let's clear the third warning. Okay, that is also same kind of warning. The set text add. We will do the same here. We will declare another string variable. String name is equal to add. Sorry, add can be anything. This name is being used in or called out here. Here is a small name is being called out here, and the value is being written here. Add, close it, type it, add. Okay. Now we will call it here r dot string dot add. You can see that all our warnings are been wiped off, and you can see that this tick mark indicates that no problems found and our code is very clean. And let's see in this activity main.xml. Here also you can see that some warnings have been displayed here. It is the same warnings that we saw in this main activity.java class. Here also we have typed in some text that is hardcore. I'll show you. Hardcore string num1 should be string resource. This num1, this hint should be string resource. So we will do it that also. String name is equal to num1 hint, and we will type in the value that is num1. Was the capital? No, first was only capital. Okay, num1. We will do that for num2 also. String name num2 hint, close it as num2. I think there's one more warning, that is button add. We will add. We will use this add for that. Okay, we can reuse this add here. String name add here. So num1 in the hint we will use string num1 hint, and in the num2 we will use string num2 hint, and this button part we will use string add. So you can see that this warning got clear, but here is another warning coming, that is missing autofill hints attribute. You can check for autofill hints attribute. Autofill attribute. Okay. I will show you a shortcut to clear such errors. The Android Studio even provides an option to fix set important for autofill, as you can choose any of this fix. We will do it also for num2 down here. Yes, yes. Okay, now it has fixed. Let's check our XML code. It's been clean. This green tick shows that it is clean. So our hands-on section is over here. Thank you for attending the section. I hope that you all understood the basics of Android app development and how to build an Android app. So if you need to learn more on this topic, you must do some hands-on projects. Before that, it's better to watch some YouTube tutorials or tutorials on other sites, or do some online courses which I had showed in the beginning. So all the best. Thank you.